Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Brunswick's Best, where Lance takes a look at the greatest players in Minnesota Vikings history. Tonight, spotlighting those who have worn the number 27. So why don't you lay that beautiful bean footage on us there, Lance, and tell us who you got on that list.
Right on. Well, I was surprised when I went back and I looked, and we have a decent selection of players here today to talk about. With that being said, we'll start right off in chronological order, as always, with none other than Bob Grimm. The earliest to wear the number 27 would be Bob Grimm, who joined the Vikings after being selected in the second round of the 1967 NFL Draft. He was selected with one of the picks the Vikings acquired for dealing quarterback Fran Tarkenton to the New York Giants. Strangely enough, in 1972, he was traded to the Giants in exchange for Tarkenton back. Well, him and two other players and two draft picks, but the connection is still there. He was named to the Pro Bowl the year before being traded, and as he caught 7 touchdown passes in 1971, he came back to the Vikings for the 2 final seasons in 1976 and 1977, though he wore the number 26 for those final 2 seasons. During his time in Minnesota, he started 25 games, accumulating 96 receptions for 1,400 yards and 9 touchdowns. Bob, this week you made the list. Moving right along to John Turner. Defensive back John Turner spent 9 of his 10 NFL seasons with the Vikings after Minnesota drafted him in the second round of the 1978 NFL Draft. During his time with the Vikings, he started multiple seasons at cornerback, as well as multiple seasons at safety. He played for the Vikings from 1978 until 1983, spent the 1984 season with the San Diego Chargers, and returned to the Vikings in 1985. He played for the team until he retired after the 1987 season, having intercepted 22 passes during his tenure as a Viking. John, you made the list. Moving right along to none other than Corey Fuller, defensive back. Another second-round pick. Cornerback Corey Fuller was selected by the Vikings in the 1995 NFL Draft. He started 56 out of 64 games in his 4 seasons in Minnesota Purple and Gold and intercepted 10 passes during that stretch. He then went on to play 4 seasons with the Cleveland Browns and 2 with the Baltimore Ravens before ultimately retiring after the 2004 season. Corey, you made the list this week. And last but not least for players, and I remember this guy very well because he came out rocking his first season here, and that is none other than Brian Russell. For a couple of seasons, safety Brian Russell looked like another outstanding free agent find for the Minnesota Vikings. He took over as a starter at safety in 2003 and led the NFL that season with 9 interceptions, including recording at least 1 pick in each of Minnesota's first 6 regular season games that season. His career in Minnesota only lasted 3 seasons as he signed a sizable free agent deal with the Cleveland Browns before the 2005 season. He had just 1 interception in each of his other 2 seasons as a Viking, giving him a career total of 11 in his 3 years in purple. Brian Russell, you made the list this week. I got 2 other names of recent players that have been here in the recent past. A lot of you should know their names. Cam Dantzler had a few developmental years here at corner just recently in the recent past, along with J-Ron Curse, who now plays for the Dallas Cowboys. I thought both those guys deserve somewhat of an honorable mention because they both played at least average to decent in their time here. So with that being said, that ends this week's episode of Brunswick's Best.
Alrighty, want to thank everybody for tuning in this week. As always, glad to be back on schedule. If you've not done so, hit the like button on your way out. Hit subscribe. Follow us on Facebook. Helps us out with the metrics a ton. Helps us bring more and better content to you guys. We love doing this. We do it for you guys. And you're always going to know where we stand when we bring stuff up. So with that, Everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. We will see you Friday night live as Brunswick and I preview the Monday night matchup against the Chicago Bears. So with that, you guys have a good rest of your week. We will see you Friday.
SKOL.
Second in the NFL on third down conversions. They need 8 yards. Fake and a swing pass to Antonio Freeman. Oh! Loses the ball, and the Vikings have recovered.
Antonio Freeman looked back inside and never paid attention to Fuller that's a perfect hit.
And Jeff Brady may have recovered the fumble. Freeman jarred, and the Vikings recovered their second fumble of the game.
Watch Antonio Freeman. And Freeman's going to look back inside. He's going to try to run away from Alexander. See that? And Fuller just came full bore. Watch how his head turns. He never sees Fuller. Fuller just lowers the boom on him. That's good football all the way around. And the good thing is, I mean, there's the hit, and he just popped right back up after that.
Well, this secondary can hit.